All right, so I'm here with Thomas and
this
Mason.
pretty ratty anyway, right?
The two. No, it looks fine. Looks fine for work.
T-shirt I'm wearing.
Looks all right. You know what?
He's always looking spiffy.
All right, I've got to I've just got to make sure the bottom line of the video is a little bit. Bait a few hooks, throw them out, and see what happens. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. That's awesome.
Oh.
Let's talk about religion and politics.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Let's open that up. Okay.
Feedy, come give us a troll
So
face.
you know what? Instead, let's talk about list building for the new Dark Angels.
All right, let's build
Codex.
for the new Dark Angels.
I can say that's easy.
I'm
That
ready.
stupid banner. That stupid banner that goes, I smack everything down dead.
All right, so
So what is the stupid banner? Banner of stupidity?
They have 3 sacred banners that they can take on a command squad, and that I mean, it's a little bit of a point sink because you have to take command squad and you have to take the banner.
Well, they're like
which is-
50 points or something.
No, they're like, the banner that we're talking about is like 65 or 75.
Okay.
It's called the Banner of Devastation, and it makes all of your bolters salvo 4-2, meaning the way salvo weapons work is they're a little bit like 5th edition rapid fire weapons, where if you move, you can only fire half the distance. But they're opposite of 5th edition bolters, that when you were within 12 inches of somebody, regardless of in 5th edition whether you moved or not, you got to fire 2 shots. Well, now salvo weapons are, if you stand still, you fire at maximum range, and you have more shots.
Yeah.
Double the shots?
Yeah, and if you move, you lose shots, and you can only fire half the distance. So that's why salvo weapons aren't as they're
Okay, so I have
Anyway,
a
the
storm
point is-
bolter,
You got a combo.
and I have
bolters,
salvos.
just
The combo.
bolters.
Okay,
The combo is
regular, just like Space Marine bolters.
Space Marine
you take
bolters.
the prescience, so you're getting 4 shots with each
Prescience
guy.
is on a librarian.
Yeah,
Yes.
that lets them
You
reroll
can-
misses.
They have Dark Angels have cheap librarians.
Yeah.
That's really good. Cheap librarians. They're 65 points for a
A level 1.
level 1 guy. 35
And
points.
prescience is the default.
They can
Power.
no. It's the default of the divination tree. They don't have to take divination, but it's one of the options, and it clearly is the best option out of the rule book
Right.
spells.
But my point is, you can control it. You don't have to roll for that.
Yeah,
You can
and-
know that your librarian's going to have this
He's
power.
going to
Right.
get that no matter what.
Straight up.
And then there's some really good other stuff in that tree.
Okay. So what else?
So anyway, the idea we're talking about is you take bolter guys or bikes. Bikes have bolters too, twin link bolters on them, which means they wouldn't even have to have a librarian close enough to use prescience on them. But they have bolters, and their bolters are now 4 shots, and then they get to reroll to hit. And so you're just throwing so much firepower at whatever gets within your range that it doesn't matter if they have really good saves. It doesn't really matter if they have good toughness or whatever. They're just going to take
what
them to
makes
die
the
anyway.
bolters salvo?
It's the banner.
Okay, so I've got
Any unit
I've
within
got
6
10.
inches.
I've got 10 tack marines with bolters, and they're in range of this magic banner,
Yes.
and they're also under the effect of prescience from a librarian.
Yes.
So now they can fire 2 bolter shots.
40. They get 40 shots.
Oh, so they fire 4. Salvo
If they don't move, they fire 4 shots. Anything
at
within
24-inch range.
At 24-inch range.
With re-rolling to hit.
with re-rolling to hit.
It goes to the Overwatch too, by the way.
So, and if I
Yeah.
charge them, they each shoot 4 shots,
Yes.
re-rolling the misses.
Yeah.
Yes. And if your librarian who's taken divination powers happens
By the
to
way,
roll,
that's about 13 or 14 hits.
even with re-rolling to hit, re-rolling to hit, and you need 6s with snap shooting for your Overwatch. That's what you're saying,
Okay, right.
right? So
Unless you get the other spells that
right,
let
you
you
get the other spell,
normal
which
shield.
is foreboding, which allows you to roll at your normal ballistic skill when you Overwatch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So they get to re-roll.
they would
Their
get
normal ballistic
they
skill.
would get to re-roll at their normal ballistic skill when you try and charge.
Oh, look at the cheesy grin on Thomas's
Yeah, it
face.
makes you want to
pretty-
just go.
It's pretty cheesy. Oh, come on, dude. Just play. It's half of the codexes in the
So-
game.
I play Orcs, so
At-
you know.
at-
I'm sorry. Half
Adepticon-
the codexes in the game now have that. Now
Yeah, I
have the
know,
option of
I
taking
know.
divination.
At Adepticon 2012, there was
2013.
like
Yeah. Oh, last
no,
year.
the last year it was, I'm going to say 20 to 30% Grey Knights armies.
Yeah.
Do you think something similar is going to happen with Dark Angels this year?
Dark Angels came out fairly recently. You know, what, a month ago, 2 months ago. So I would say that's a little bit. You're looking at a little
It's
bit
kind of
further
tight to
out.
actually even
Yeah,
get the
Grey
army
Knights.
going.
Well, two things about Grey Knights. One,
Unless you have your army professionally assembled and painted by a snap crew. Yeah.
Millstone dry brush.
Should do like that.
Operators are standing by.
Probably go to a
Okay,
Grey-
go ahead.
Grey Knights are low
dark
model
sand,
count.
pale sand.
They're low model count, so it's not as hard to put them together, get an army put together of them.
Alright.
And the codex came out right before or right during. I think right during Adepticon 2011. I feel like that's the case. And so then it wasn't until the next following year that you had so many people playing it. Maybe it was 2000. I don't remember when it came out. Anyway, the point is that they had more time to get the stuff going than this year people have had with Dark Angels. Now a lot of people had Dark Angels before, so maybe more people.
Yeah, they'll
bring it
just
out.
dust off their old
Right.
army and upgrade it. Okay, so back to the main line of questioning. I'm going to play 40K. I want to have a competitive army list. My group down at my shop is pretty bloodthirsty. And so, what should I take in my Dark Angels army?
Well, we just gave you one option, and this is the other thing about that list that I didn't mention was that.
So, librarian is auto-include.
Yeah, you always want to bring a librarian.
Yeah.
Librarians are like probably the best. No, they are. They're the best. They're the best HQ choice that you could take in that codex.
Because they can be combat-oriented too.
Yeah, well, I mean, the divination tree also has the possibility of you rolling the spell called precognition, and your guy gets to re-roll the hit, re-roll the wound, and re-roll his armor, re-roll his saves. I think it says saves.
Oh, so
Maybe
you put him in
might be
Terminator armor,
Yeah.
put the
We
librarian
did
in
that in our bad
Terminator
rep, by the
armor.
way. 17 wounds. I don't care. Just shrug all of them off.
Yeah.
Re-rollable 2 up.
Yeah.
Pretty
Have fun
dumb.
with that.
Pretty dumb. So they could be, and there's another spell in there that's not as good, but it does something to make them either like more attacks or higher speed or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Divinity is just awesome.
I don't think that you want to combat orientation.
Divinity?
Or
Divination.
Divination.
You don't.
Well, Divinity is awesome as well.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I'd love
Okay,
to
go
have
ahead.
divinity. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think
You are
that-
divine tongues.
I thank you.
Sir.
I don't think I would take them with the idea that they're going to be in combat, because they're cheap and there's with the divination powers, there's so much they can do to make the rest of the army better that I would have them just sitting somewhere in the back of the unit, being like, "Come at me, bro," and then when somebody comes at them, come do the dance, Phoebe.
Alright, give me a second.
When they do, then
We're gonna
then-
have the "Come at Me, Bro" dance by Feedy.
right, and then when they
He does
do
it better than anyone. That's for sure.
they do come at him. And they try and challenge him and pull him out. He's just like, "No, I'm good. Go ahead and hit the rest of the unit. I don't care."
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah, he's gonna change.
Are we ready?
Change the camera.
Here we go. All right, go ahead. Fantastic. All right.
That wasn't on camera.
Back on you guys. Okay, you've
All
got 4 minutes to fill out the rest of
All
our
right,
army
so
list
the
and tell
last-
me why.
No,
Go.
the last thing about the list, if you take the Banner of Devastation, is their tactical marines are really cheap. They're like 14 points for a tactical marine. You don't have to you can spend extra points to upgrade their sergeant, but you could just take a regular sergeant with them that's like a 1 attack and a weapon skill, or leadership 8 kind of bloke. They're really cheap tactical squads, which is really awesome because Banner of Devastation means more bolter
So you don't
marines.
kit out your sergeant. You just leave
No,
him with a bolter.
if you're giving the Banner of Devastation a try, then you just want him to have a bolter. You just want him to shoot with the rest of the group because it's more shots than he would get if he was decked out with a power fist and a plasma pistol or something silly like that. And then when somebody charges you and actually gets through all the nasty fire that you've thrown at them and destroys your unit, you don't care because you have 4 or 5 more of them that are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
that are getting,
so I want to take at least 4
And
attacks.
those are all
charge
scoring
you.
units too, which
Right,
is how
yeah.
you win tournaments. Is how
They
you score
charge
units.
you, and you want the unit to die because then they're not going to be in combat on your turn,
Okay.
and you get to shoot them.
Right. Hope you had fun blowing up my 140-point tax squad.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then,
Okay.
but
So what
this-
else do I take? I want some goodies. Should I take
You-
tanks? Should I take rhinos?
This-
Do I want a predator?
You don't want to do. I really like the banner of devastation and the nastiness that's involved that is in it, but I don't think that it's the only thing that you should take. I don't think and before this codex came out, the only way to run Dark Angels was to play all Deathwing. And that's not a viable option anymore. I don't think even though Terminators are better in this edition, shooting Terminators are better in this edition than last edition. There's so much other good stuff in the Codex that can add and help the Terminators.
Deathwing,
It's a mistake to run
themed
all.
army.
It's a
could be
mistake to
good.
run an all Deathwing army.
Okay.
It's not as competitive.
This is straight, right?
Okay, so we're talking like
Too
tournament
few
style
models.
stuff, right?
There's
Right,
too
yeah,
there's
that's
too
fine.
few models.
Okay.
Alright, flash. So it's
Bikes.
around then.
Their bikes are cheaper than they were, and they are better than they were. They all have hit and run now. They
Teleport homers.
they all had teleport homers before, but they still do.
That banner works for them too. By
The banner works for them.
When the
It's
fight
even,
comes,
it could be, you could even run it that way, and it could be just as good, but with a mobile force, because the bikes would move up.
They count as
They're twin linked
relentless,
anyways.
so
Right.
they get salvo even though they move 12 inches.
Right.
That's
and they
ridiculous.
can charge afterwards too.
So each bike has 4 shots with their bolter,
Yes.
with
Twin linked.
banner.
Twin linked without divination
Yeah, no
powers.
divination
Right.
needed for that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's good.
Right, and then and you run the command squad that has the banner in a razorback close by. You know, so just run in the middle of the circle, like it could be this Death Star of.
oh,
of
so hold on.
awfulness.
You can take a Ravenwing HQ,
Yeah, you
Ravenwing
can take-
command squad, and give them the banner.
I wouldn't do that because it's only 3 models. So the banner, your enemy will be like, that banner's doing all this nastiness. Shoot those guys first.
Yeah.
I
No,
got it.
take a walking command squad, put them in a razorback,
Okay.
because then they have to blow the razorback up before they can even shoot the guys. And then once the guys pop out, then you're like, okay, I have nasty characters standing in front taking the hits for me.
All right. So give me 2 other units that I take in my army.
Blackwing Knights.
Okay.
They're awesome.
There's
they
one.
they have plasma talons, which are twin linked, rapid fire plasma weapons that have 18 range.
Right.
It's like a no brainer. That unit's like, oh, there's 5 of us, and we roll up and we shoot that Terminator squad with 10 plasma shots, and a bunch of them die, and then we
With
charge
banner
them.
of devastation.
No, this is an and. This is an and.
Right, but banner of devastation would affect those
No,
guys too.
no, because
It
they don't
doesn't?
have
Oh, only
bolters.
bolters.
Only
Got it.
bolters.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Wow, that would be ridiculous if they turned their
Yeah, I
plasma
was
into
thinking.
salvo
Yeah.
4 plasma. Whoa. All right.
Eat plasma.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Okay, go ahead.
I would
That's
run
why
those,
I can't
and then
work
you
at the
do
blood bank anymore.
right, and then you do run a couple of a squad of Terminators because Deathwing got better in this edition.
Okay.
They just don't work by themselves.
So really, Dark Angel's book lends itself to a mixed force.
You want to run a mixed
Yeah.
force. It's better.
I like
Um,
that.
I mean, I think that you could run a pretty competitive all Ravenwing, meaning that you would bring land speeders as well. The land speeder, what's it called?
Twin link plasma thing.
No,
Dark Shroud?
that's terrible. The Dark Shroud. The Dark Shroud's
Oh.
awesome. Running a couple of Dark Shrouds would be really great because it's just this is a mobile platform and every unit that's within it gets shrouding. That means that bikes, or it might be stealth, right? Yeah, they just +1 to their cover save.
Right.
So your bikes move and they get a jinx save, right?
Right.
They get a 5-up cover
2-up.
save, and so then it would be increased to a 4-up cover save
Okay.
just by being
Now,
next to
how
this
do
guy.
bikes have jink? Do they just automatically
Yeah,
have it if they
all
move,
bikes
like
come with
skimmers?
jink. If they they're like skimmers. If they move, they get jink.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So in this edition, bikes just straight up have a 5+ invulnerable save.
Cover save.
Cover save.
Yeah, definitely not a vulnerable save. Says the flamer that kills them all.
Yeah. I love 6th edition. Just got to tell you.
I'm a pretty big fan of it. There's some things that I'm not a fan of, but in general, it's growing on me quite a bit.
Demons?
Yeah. There's a lot
Well, you
going
know
on.
what? You know what? Today is Friday. Tomorrow is
That's
Saturday,
right.
and the new Demon Codex comes out tomorrow. And I'm
And we'll see how it
almost
grows
positive. And all the rumors say that they lose Eternal Warrior and Fearless.
What?
And they lose Demonic Assault. They're gonna have to deploy normally.
Okay.
So I'm thumbs up, man. Thumbs up.
You mean they got weaker and you're happy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were redonkulous.
They made the update what, like
This
6
is
months
bad
6 months ago.
because anytime they make a codex not as good,
Oh, there's all kinds of new
People don't play it.
models, and the new models are all going to be awesome. It's going to be fine, Sean. It's just changing. It's changing the focus, and it's
doesn't
hopefully
matter to
not
me.
gonna
I don't
be-
play competitively.
It's hopefully not going to be so just. There's Feast of Blades. I went to Feast of Blades, and in the top bracket in the Invitational tournament, it was 8 players. 4 of them were demon players.
Yeah.
And the top 4 players at the end were demon players. We're all 4 demon players.
Really?
And
Yeah,
then-
I actually read about that.
And then the open tournament, the top 2 tables, there was out of the 4 players on the top 2 tables, I believe 3 of them were demon players, and on the top table it was demon players.
Huh. Well,
And-
that
and
codex.
the third
Yeah.
and fourth bracket.
Who's the author of the Demons Codex?
Oh, I don't know. It's not the Demons Codex itself because it was already.
I would imagine
really
it's my favorite author.
Matt Ward.
That's right.
I don't know if it's Matt Ward.
Now,
It
people
could-
think you've mentioned before. You think I'm trolling when I say I like Matt Ward, but I do. I think
he's good for
great.
business.
He is good for business.
That's great. He's
That's
good.
why.
He's good for business. He's good for
He
your
keeps it
business.
fresh.
He's good for Games Workshop's
keeps it
business.
fresh.
And he's written half the codexes in the game, so you can't really at this point complain about Matt Ward and not be like a little hypocritical somehow.
Right.
Because as we learned down here,
Oh, by the way,
you're wrong about one thing, you're wrong about everything.
I was. I was asked to provide a very short list of names that, without limitation, if I could get anybody out to Valhalla as a guest. That
Well, I already
could
said I was
and
coming,
Matt,
it's okay.
Matt Ward was on my list.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Did he accept?
now that I've said that, Rob is gonna figure out a way to
To
get,
get Matt Ward.
For the
All right. That's pretty crazy. The guy, I think
it
he
is.
runs around with bodyguards, doesn't he?
What?
He must.
something. I don't know.
So people don't come and punch him in the face.
Oh, that's
come on.
awesome. You think it's funny, huh? You think it's funny? Who's hitting who now? What?
What's the OP Codex now, Matt?
No, I don't know if he brought out the White Dwarf update, but the truth is that Demons is annoying as Fate Weaver and some things in that codex were.
Oh, I've
it wasn't
gone up
until
against that.
six months ago when they brought out the White Dwarf update for them that made Flamers and Screamers just. I mean, Flamers are 6th edition made Flamers better. But they gave him something better, like a better save, or maybe they took a save away but gave him an extra wound. Whatever it was that they did to Flamers only made them worse. But 6th edition in general just made Flamers worse. The one that I really, you can beat them. You can beat Flamers. What you can't.
What do you
beat
mean
is
by
Screamers.
worse? Worse meaning to play against?
To play against, yeah, they're just
Okay,
awful.
thank you.
They're
So
awful to
they
play
were
against.
more powerful.
They're
people.
extremely powerful. Screamers are the most powerful unit in the game, hands down.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, flamers
okay.
though.
Flamers are up there. They're really powerful. But Flamers you can Flamers
No, I'm off work.
Oh,
Just
okay.
hanging out.
So you can just glance vehicles too. Just glance vehicles
Flamers get rid of whatever they shoot at.
Yeah.
But once they're in close combat with them, you can kill them. You just have to get into close combat with them. And then you can get into close combat with them using the tactics you did in the bat rep.
Yeah.
You just you use some
Throwaway.
throwaway unit to get rid of their Overwatch.
Yeah.
And then heck, it would have worked even better. The way that you did it would have worked even better. Because
I did a really good thing the other day.
Flamers have the they have to do it with the template range.
Yeah.
So if you're outside the 8 1/4 that the template range is, they
Oh.
don't even get to Overwatch you, because it's out of their range. Because Overwatch says you have to do it as if they were really shooting.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So if I charge from like 10 inches away,
Flamers can't.
flamers
touch it.
can't affect me with wall of flame.
No.
I don't know.
Right.
Somebody can tell me. Somebody can tell me that I'm wrong, but,
Right.
but you can't shoot. You cannot.
I want to say wall of death as a rule is just we put our wall of flame out here and you run into it, not necessarily.
Well,
not being
but you're going with a background role-playing imagination stance.
It's possible.
But
it makes sense.
Somebody,
That's not what it is.
somebody in the comments will tell us we're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
That was gold.